Sometimes I like to sketch someone as I'm talking to them.
May I?
Well, I'm not very good. I'm no Truman Capote.
So as artists, and that category can be applied to almost anyone, whether the person is drawing, or baking banana bread.
I knew you had your hands full with the babies, so I baked you some banana bread.
Oh, hallelujah, our problems are solved. We have banana bread.
Banana bread? What the hell were you thinking?
Or singing.
If I ever find that you changed at any time, it's not unusual to find that I'm in love with.
Not tonight!
Art is anything that's creative, passionate, and personal, which means their art can be subject to opinion, subject to criticism.
They did their best, shoddily iddly iddly diddly. Gotta be nice, hostility diddly biddly diddly. Ah, hell diddly ding dong crap! Can't you morons do anything right?
And that is the topic of today, where I combed through a buttload of comments. We're talking over 5,000 and counting.
What? No way! 5,000!
Which, thank you. I really appreciate it. However, due to this amount of comments, the most efficient way to find the best is to go by the most popular comments by likes. However, YouTube in its infinite wisdom doesn't have it set up this way. They're all over the place instead of rank ordered. I looked up why this is and it just gave me a headache, so whatever. I tried my best to pick the top 25 by likes. I might do a bit of summarizing for brevity's sake, but I'll put the comment up if you want to read it yourself. So with that said...
Ah, jeez, mine doesn't look anything like his. Ah, the hell with it.
Number 25, Romix There Alone. People not understanding that cartoony is a stylistic choice and I'm not just bad at proportions. Now obviously it depends on style and skill, but yes, while going with the stylized art gives you more creative freedom, some uptight individuals might look down their nose at you. And while constructive criticism is fine, if they're being a jerk you can tell them to go pound sand, and keep trying to improve. Number 24 and 23, Pedal Bunyan. You're actually a good sketcher. I don't leave sketches unfinished. Shrek. Multiple MFs. What kind of weird doodle is that? To a completed art piece that took me months. So if there's a common insult that stings the most, is when you put a lot of time and effort, heart and soul into something and someone gives you a shitty dismissive comment. It's a real kick in the pants.
Arrgh! My groin!
But remember, an insult or a comment is only as good as the person who says it. So if it's a stranger or someone you don't like, it should be easy to dismiss. Number 22. Only one grade to beat them all. When I was 9, I was showing some friend some drawings I made digitally, then she proceeds to call them all ugly and deleted them. They were my favorites too. Now this one's tough because it's from a friend. Like I said, a stranger or a person you don't like can be dismissed. Now you could just chalk this up to age. I mean, you would think a friend with stronger emotional intelligence would find a constructive way to say it wasn't her cup of tea. Number 21. Loria Ellis. It wasn't an insult, but it was definitely a very upsetting experience. I drew a lot of vent art during state testing. I really needed a break from it and I felt like I couldn't focus anymore, and was really frustrated. The principal who was watching over me and a few other students found out about the papers. I had drawn and ripped it up and tossed it in the trash, saying I couldn't doodle on the scratch paper. Once the last student had finished their test and exited the room, I went from angry to deeply saddened, and my eyes filled with tears as I silently cried. That's pretty damn rough. Now teachers in school, I can see them not wanting you to doodle if you're not done with your test. Also, I could see if your doodles were inappropriate. But if they were just regular doodles and there was no warning, I mean, I could see if they asked you multiple times. Or perhaps there was a history between you and the principal. But other than that, that's pretty wild to have such a harsh reaction to doodles. Some teachers can be real dicks for no reason. And don't get me started on state testing. It's such an absolute scam and a joke. But what else do you expect from public education?
Behold your lemons! Sociopathic child haters who are only teachers because they got tenure after 2 short years.
That's mean!
You know what you are.
Number 20. Coffee Chicken. I used to draw like that 2 years ago. More dismissive bullshit. And usually the people who say that are probably a terrible artist. A secure artist wouldn't say that. Number 19. Weird Person. That part is unrealistic. My style isn't realism, it's anime. Either the person is perceptive as a nearsighted bullfrog, or they're deliberately being obtuse.
My God, how can you be so obtuse?
What did you call me?
Obtuse. You're being obtuse.
2 months in the hole! Or am I being obtuse?
Nope, now you're being acute.
In any case, I hope you put them in their place, and they felt bad about it. Number 18. Deep Dream Moth. I like the redesign, it makes him look less gay. Needless to say, I made him more gay out of spite. On one hand, I'm guessing he meant that as an insult. On the other hand, if you already liked the original redesign, why let some dingus change your opinion on it? But if you liked the second redesign as well, good on you. Number 17. Vormit. Some kid in class said to me, please stop drawing demons. It makes me uncomfortable. Bro, it was Sans Undertale. Well, it's an insult, since you weren't drawing a demon, but Sans is a creepy skeleton dude, so it's in the ballpark for a piece of art. Also, to make someone uncomfortable takes skill. Number 16. Nova's Territory. Why is she naked? I had only just started. Just tell them to wait a minute. I mean, if you just got done finishing drawing someone's head, would they say, why did you draw a decapitated head? Number 15. Claude. Is he mewing? Those cheekbones could have prevented 9/11. To my realistic Saki K drawing. Apparently it was too detailed. What a weird line to say to someone. But hey, what's wrong with being too realistic? I guess if that wasn't what you're going for. But hey, as long as it looks good, who cares? Sometimes you have happy accidents. Number 14. Skeleton Man. Back in the 6th grade. Why are there dots on her nose? Are those pimples? Ew. No bruh, those are freckles. So this is sort of an insidious insult because unlike just saying something is gross or ugly, where you know the person is just being a dick, this is close enough to real criticism to mask the person being a real piece of shit. Number 13. Tired Taylor. I could easily draw that. Draws it almost perfectly under 5 minutes, even though it took me an hour. I appreciate your willingness to be honest. Usually a jerk is insecure and that's the reason why they insult people. But the fact that they can back up their insult sucks. However, this doesn't take into account their age and experience. In which, yeah, it makes sense they can draw something faster since they have put in the time to do so. So good for them, but how about they let you go on your journey just like they did? Number 12. Ollie the Trolley. As a horror artist, I was offended at, no, he looks like a box troll. This is sort of a variation on being dismissive, except it's more specific. Rather than just saying it's bad, it's that it's not scary. Which sucks, but this opens up the person who insulted you too. Actually, I was trying to draw your mom. Number 11. Dragon Studio. That's cool, can you draw this person I know pregnant? Ain't really an insult, but it's the craziest thing someone said about my art. Yeah, this isn't an insult, but it's weird. I hope you asked for fair compensation for such a weird request.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
Number 10. I'm just gonna call you Mr. M. My older brother always says, your art is ugly and you should stop drawing and look at my art. And his art is literally a thing a 7-year-old would still draw in school. So yeah, when a family member insults your art, it hurts the most. Because you can't rationalize it by saying who cares what a stranger thinks. But on the other hand, lucky for you, you can just come back with your one to talk. Also speaking from experience, older brothers can be a real
Son of a biscuit-eating bulldog.
What the French toast?
Number 9. Cat Keyboard. Oh, that's a nice doodle. It was an art piece that took me over a day. Yeah, it sucks when your work is confused for a doodle. Your hard work is reduced to something a child does in between throwing Legos at a cat and eating applesauce. However, luckily karma is real.
This trick-or-treater thought he could get away with stealing all the candy.
This contest is over. Give that man the $10,000.
This isn't America's Funniest Home Videos.
Number 8. Yellow Cold. Why does all your music sound like ringtones? And I will never recover from that. I hope you said to this person, I got a ringtone for you.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Fuck you.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Eat shit.
If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Dumb
Number 7. Kiwi fruit. I could easily do that. They couldn't. Do you notice that the people that scream the loudest and make all the hardest proclamations are usually the people who in fact can't back it up? They can't walk the walk. All they can do is be a judgy little dweeb. Number 6. Not Alyssa. This wasn't an insult, but in the 1st grade, my art teacher ripped up my project in front of the whole class because I drew in color instead of black and white and used me as a bad example. I cried in front of the whole class as he threw it in the trash. My worst art experience by far. So there's a lot to unpack. First, every part of the story is just infuriating. Having your art torn up in front of everyone and used as a bad example over a simple mistake. In what world is that kind of response necessary? Especially in the 1st grade. A teacher, a full-grown adult being that antagonistic over an error. What a piece of shit. Now, as far as comparisons. I agreed that saying the same thing happened can play down your story like,
I'm feeling really anxious. I need some air. I need to go outside. I think, actually, I'm sorry. I think I'm having a panic attack.
I'm having a panic attack, too. My panic attack's having a panic attack. It's called a panic attack. It's worse.
However, it's natural to hear someone's story and relate it to experiences you had. Like immediately it brought back memories of a similar experience I had, where an English teacher called me out in the middle of class, in front of everyone, for an essay that I turned in. It was really embarrassing. However, it was in high school, and while I didn't deserve being called out, I did deserve a talking to, since I didn't take the assignment seriously. But all she had to do is write, "See me after class" on the paper. It might be the worst call out I ever received, but she did apologize later. And if it's any consolation, your experience was way worse. Number 5. Jill Kitsune. Getting told your art is printed is the equivalent of getting told you're hacking in a game when you're not. It's the best compliment an artist can get. You're right. It's like going to the gym and someone says you must be doing steroids to look that ripped.
Stewie, you look gross. You look like Lou Ferrigno's poop.
I look like a guy who's been hitting the gym.
It has nothing to do with the gym. You're on drugs.
Doesn't matter how you find the pot of gold, be to the Ryan. All that matters is that you beat the leprechauns.
That doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't have to make sense when you look like this. Ugh!
Number 4. Red Mysterio. She's just doodling. A sketch does nothing in the real world. One of my teachers who I used to like during a conference that I was made to sit on, they were talking about my adversity to using color instead of graphite. That is both terrible and foolish. First off, just because you use pencil doesn't make everything a sketch. Second, pencil art is totally a valid medium. Third, insulting someone's art is not a convincing way to get them to change. All that teacher had to do was politely ask to use color, because they want you to be a more well-rounded artist, a more versatile artist. Number 3, Brontosaurus. For me it was, why does she have a beard? It was the shading on her neck. Like I said, those subtle jabs are rough because they're close enough to real criticism to mask them being an ass clown. But hey, it could be worse.
There's a lot more where this came from. If you go to the dance with me, yours truly, Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, God! Oh, Jesus! God! Oh, Mary, Mother of Jesus! Jesus of Nazareth!
Number 2, odds make stories. Why are you so proud? Anyone can do that. This is when you immediately call their bluff and say, okay, so do it, and hope they fail, and laugh in their face when they do. Number 1, Edamumtaz. That's a good sketch. Motherfucker, this is my completed work. And this is the purest form of insulting someone's work, being both dismissive and passive-aggressive.
No, I didn't have the time.
You have 3 kids. I totally get it. I have 4 and I work. Sometimes it's hard to read a short email.
Spam folder?
Oh, spam folder, yes. I don't have that problem because most of us got rid of AOL years ago.
So this is the end. So first I believe, not Alyssa had the worst insult. Hopefully it hasn't completely soured you on art. And hopefully karma has given that teacher their just desserts. So what have we learned? Kids can be cruel.
We can? Thanks, Mom!
Ow! Cut out, Bart!
As well as adults. But it's important to consider the source. Most likely some stranger you don't even like. Or someone whose opinion is as useful as a soup sandwich. As well as the fact that constructive criticism is good. But insults are not. They're a lack of respect. And if they don't respect you, why should you do the same? And remember that unless you're Leonardo da Vinci or some other wonderkin, it's gonna take a lot of time and work to get where you want to be as an artist. So an insult shouldn't hurt because you're a work in progress. Just like everyone else. And if you make something you're not proud of, remember it's just temporary.
And that's that. And that's that. And that's that. And that's that.
Yo te amo mucho, and that is